Okay, we are live. We will wait for everyone to get back on the new link.
I'm going on mute.
Okay, so I see people are starting to log back in. So sorry about the technical difficulties. I take full responsibility. Can't use Google, apparently. But no worries, we're gonna go ahead and get started again. I believe we just finished answering some good and bad things that are part of our positions. You correct? Okay. So our next question here is going to be from a member who wishes to remain anonymous. Their question is, what advice do you have for members who are hesitant to contact you all for information about applying to your position?
My advice would be just don't be hesitant at all. Just consider us like your chapter member, a chapter member, someone at your school, someone your peer on your level. Like, don't be nervous at all. I kind of said in my last question, I'm a little introverted. And when I was running for this position, I called the past two people in this position. One of them I'd never even met in person. It was the first time we had a conversation. And I was just looking for advice, and he gave it to me. So he didn't know who I was, and I have the position now. So obviously it worked out. So I would say don't be hesitant if you're unsure how to go about it. I mean, I know in the finance zone and all our group meetings and our emails, we give out our phone number, text, call, contact us through group meet or email. Like, we're available in a lot of different platforms and sources, I guess. So just call us or anything, anywhere. Don't be hesitant.
Yeah, just picking back off of what Amari just said, don't be hesitant. I don't know. I didn't think we were intimidating. Maybe we are. I don't know. But yeah, if you guys contact anybody, even if it's not finance zone, any person on the REB, we're happy to talk to you guys. We want to talk to you guys. Like Amari said, I give my number out. Chapter finance chairs, they text me. I text back, usually within the hour, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, this is our job. Our job is to help you guys to transition into someone who's fit for the next role so that you guys can do an even better job than we did. So we want you guys to contact us.
Yeah, so if you're scared to call, I guess a less harm or a painless way of communication is email. There's not that, initial kind of uncomfortable feeling of talking to someone you haven't met before. Even though send an email, it can be really quick. Yes, as your comfort level changes, you can call to get more information as well. But I would say at least shoot an email. At least, that's what I did. I was a bit hesitant myself. But sending a quick email can give you a lot of insight as well, if you don't want to call.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say on that. When I first got into this position, I wasn't nervous because I had already known the previous Fall Regional Conference chairperson, and it just so happened that he was RLC chairperson this year. So I didn't really have an issue with talking to anybody on the RAB, but we are not people you need to be scared of. Like, we're normal, well, mostly normal people, and we should be treated like that. We're going to treat you with the same level of respect that you treat us. So, I mean, don't be scared. We're normal people.
All right. All right, Patrice, we're not all as weird as you, FYI. I'm just kidding. Good answers, guys. So our next question comes from another senator. Mr. Paul Brown wants to know, what experiences have you guys had at the chapter level that have prepared you for the work or challenges of the Regional Executive Board?
For me, so 2 years ago, I was our chapter's academic excellence chair. And so some experience I really learned from that was meeting deadlines. I had a real strict zone lead, and every time I met a deadline, he would call me minutes after the deadline, where's your work? So that's something I learned early, really trying to meet your deadlines. And last year I was our chapter secretary, and so from that standpoint I learned being a zone lead and how everything my zone members do, I'm still responsible for. If they don't get it done, I'm the first line of defense. I'm getting contacted and questioned as to why it's not done. And so those two things together help me prepare for meeting deadlines and managing a zone. Now I make sure everyone does their work, or I try to, or I try to help them so that I don't get yelled at and so that they don't get yelled at. And also making sure everyone's meeting deadlines, especially as it relates to money.
At the chapter level, so 2 years ago, I was our chapter's telecommunications chair. So that was, that really got me involved in NSBE, learning the foundations of NSBE, how a board worked, and just being accountable. So that's one thing that I carried over to the regional board. When I was chapter treasurer last year, that definitely helped me. It was a step higher in difficulty, and I had more responsibilities, which I really enjoyed. And just being on the finance zone again. So I had some insight already on conference planning. Now it was at a larger scale. But not to say that you have to have any finance zone experience, because our treasurer doesn't, and she's great. So other than that, definitely. Yeah, that's it.
So my time on my chapter's board, I was kind of a large assortment of positions, and sometimes there was a lot of gray lines blurred because of I guess lack of positions. But I'd say the strongest skill that I picked up was communication and being able to work with a diverse group of people. You can know the ins and outs of how to do anything, but if you're not an effective communicator, there are so many, things that won't get done because everyone's role is intertwined with someone else's. And if you can't work with, different people, and you can't work under different styles of management, you also won't be able to get, your work done, and you're going to affect the quality of everyone else on the board and other members in the region. So, learning how to work in teams was actually pick up, not only working in a lot of aspects in life, like in school, jobs, etc. So yeah.
So 2 years ago, I was chapter president for my NSBE chapter, and we plan a banquet every year to raise money for our travel to nationals and our scholarship fund. So with that knowledge, I actually had to piece together all of the what do they call it? Details for our banquet that we had, and it was probably our most successful banquet to this date. But that kind of is what pushed me over the edge to want to do more for NSBE on a bigger scale. So that kind of just helped me. It's one of the challenging things that I had to deal with at that time. So being in a more challenging role, it allows me to gain more knowledge on conference planning and planning something that's much bigger than 200 people coming to a banquet. So.
All right. Good stuff, guys. So our next question comes from another senator. So Gabrielle Cole wants to know, what are some things that you'd like to see improved in the coming years in the finance zone particularly, but also broadly within NSBE as a whole?
I'd like to see more scholarships develop and more people applying for them. I know we added a new scholarship where we'll pay for certifications, like getting your green belt, like Six Sigma green belt or whatever. So I like that idea because it encourages people. Like, it's not only money, but it's here's something else to help you with your major. So I'd like to see more opportunities like that and more people applying for them. We still, honestly, our scholarships numbers were still really low this year. But on a broader level and on a different topic, I'd like to see us promoting more Black businesses more. We did a great job at RLC with touching on the few Black businesses that were out in Indiana. But I mean, I know Chicago, we have a lot of Black-owned businesses here, but where we were located, we weren't able to really access them. But I think even just promoting them more, I would like to see. That's actually a part of the finance zone. That's one of our responsibilities. So I'd like to see that expanded more.
Some things that I would like to see improved from a finance chair standpoint, definitely a regional fundraiser that is able to be sought out early on. Had some difficulties with trying to do one that I wanted to do at FRC, so definitely planning that more efficiently for next year. I would definitely say closer CEB, so the chapter executive board and the REB connections. This year, that was one of our goals, and to get a stronger connection, and we definitely did improve. But I know it can be even further, and we still have room for improvement. Something else I would definitely like to see is a better connection with WHQ than what we've had in the past, and that's on a REB to WHQ level. But NSBE as a whole, just society whole, definitely to increase our GPA, because one thing that I heard from the corporate reps is they still want to see better GPAs, and that's going back to excelling academically. So that's mine.
I'd say what I'd like to see be improved that would directly affect the finance zone is National NSBE's website and infrastructure. We could post $1 million worth of scholarships online, but no one's ever fully capable of ever applying because there's always some weird NSBE Connect issue where people can't see scholarships, or the GPA verification process is a little funky. And I think if a lot of that was ironed out and the website was far more accessible to content and the membership for actually viewing and accessing that content, I think help us help the membership, because we've done it away because that's what it's for, but we can't seem to do that because NSBE Connect seems to be a pretty big issue with getting that money to our membership. So that's what I'd like to see.
So Jada kind of touched on what I want to see changed. I mean, within NSBE as a whole, and especially in our finance zone, is communication, especially around conference time. It seems like our communication is way high, like everybody's talking to everybody, trying to get things figured out. But then it's like before conference time and after conference time, it's just kind of like ghost. Like, you ask a question and then somebody magically answers you 3 weeks later or something like that. But I mean, even from the chapter level to WHQ, or from the regional level to WHQ, or from the chapter to the NEB, or like all of us should have free reign to communicate with each other. And I feel like there's a lot of separation between us, and there shouldn't be, because we're in these positions for the membership, not for ourselves. So the communication just should be better. That's one thing that I would like to see.
All right. So we all know that the mission of NSBE is to increase the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community. How does each and every single one of your positions help NSBE members achieve that mission?
I feel like I've kind of touched on some of it with like scholarships, as far as the excelling academically and succeeding professionally. Because excelling academically, of course, we're encouraging people to get good grades so that they can receive money, or even if they don't have good grades now and they eventually get them, just acknowledging that they've come a long way is part of that. And also excelling or succeeding professionally, as far as paying for their certifications. That's something you can put on your resume that you didn't have to pay for, that companies are still looking for. And so that relates to my position, because I mean, I'm on the scholarship committee, and all scholarships are approved through the treasurer. Sorry, I just got thrown off. But and then in general, just being in a regional position like a treasurer, or really any regional board position, helps you do all things through the mission statement, because you're put on a platform where you can influence other younger engineers. And that's really what it's all about, bringing the youth in, and also matriculating yourself.
Okay, from my standpoint, I would say my position lives the NSBE mission by helping excelling academically part, by definitely encouraging the membership to get the good grades, letting the companies know what Region 4 has to offer academically to fit their business needs. And then other than that, I would say succeeding professionally, definitely Finance Zone. You talk to corporations, in particular my position as finance chair, I talked to someone from corporate when it got towards FRC probably 3 times a day. And giving back to the community, we do things as a regional board to help with the community, excuse me. We've been to the Boys and Girls Club, encouraging the youth, definitely. And yeah.
So I'd say my position directly impacts the mission. One, as the chair of the scholarship committee, I'm given members the avenue to highlight their academic excellence and their academic improvement. As the facilitator of the chapter leaf program, I'm allowing chapters to get assistance to attend our conference, which has a suite of content like the career fair, where they can, get some professional development. And then also I help out with the grad school fair by facilitating grad school reps to come to the FRC career fair every year, which gives our membership, options, improves us as well. So yeah, those are some avenues that the assistant treasurer directly impacts the mission.
So the way that FRC chair directly affects, ties into the mission is that, without Fall Regional Conference, the companies in Region 4 can't find you guys. So, or are less likely to find those of you without a 3.0. And so that's basically succeeding professionally. They're helping you with your resumes, showing you everything that you need to do to make yourself competitive, and help you figure that out. Something else is excelling academically, especially with the grad school fairs. Like, not okay. Grad school is not for everybody, but I encourage you to consider it. It's probably one of the best decisions you'll ever make. And as far as impacting the community, FRC brings tourism to the cities around it, which brings in revenue for those cities. So that's just kind of a couple different things that for specifically FRC chair brings to with the mission. So
I love hearing you guys talk about how you work to help NESB members, achieve our mission. I'm going to take a quick pause as we welcome our national chairperson, Matthew Nelson, to our panel. Yay! I'm going to let him say a few words.
What's happening, everybody? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Good. So, I had to come through and represent because I came through Finance Zone from Region 4, former regional finance chair. So, just wanted to take some time, and I think this is an awesome platform that Shelby has set up. Certainly anything that I can do to answer any questions. A little bit about me. At a chapter level, I didn't have a official position. I served on the committee. So, you don't always have to have a position to be a service in NESB, but I was on the Finance Core Committee. So I helped to put together the mock interviews, find people to do that. I also worked with our finance chair at the time to help put on a corporate mixer. And just from that experience, the regional chair and vice chair showed up on our campus one day and said, hey, we were looking for people. And I initially applied to be FRC chair because FRC was in Detroit that year. Detroit was my city. I was a DJ. I had done event planning. And they were like, nah, bro, we need you to do a little bit more than that. So they asked me to be finance chair, and it just took off. So from there, I moved up to national finance chair. I also was a national assistant treasurer, and then in my current role, national chair. I sometimes I want to add context because I want you to be very excited about the opportunity that NESB has, but I also want you to understand this, that NESB isn't the epicenter of the Black engineering movement. In fact, if you go back, it really came out of the affirmative action policies of the 60s that required all federal contractors to employ a certain number of Black people in order to maintain their contracts. So out of that came discussions in terms of the National Academy of Engineering and the Sloan Foundation. So the original funding, or the people that were really working to provide opportunities in this, was the Sloan Foundation. And out of that came NACME, which some of you may know is a funding program that helps more minorities go into engineering. Out of those conversations also came GEM, consortium, as well as MESA and a number of other organizations. And that movement around the country, as well as additions to Black engineering societies on campuses, is what really spurred the impetus for NESB. So where we are today, NESB plays a major role. We partner with about 60 BCA companies, another 200 or so that are major and affiliate companies. So our reach is large. Yes, people are looking for us, looking for you as top talent. Over the next 5 years or so, there's projected to be engineering shortage, a significant engineering shortage. So everybody I talk to say I'm hiring 300 and 400 engineers over the next couple of years. So you actually come out in a sweet spot. Around 08 and 09, people coming out of NESB had a difficulty finding jobs because the economy was so bad. So like, you're in an ideal position. You're in a buyer's market in which you can negotiate. So I encourage you all to learn some negotiation tactics, get that money, and don't just take the first offer that comes to you. But from a NESB perspective, what I love the most is that in regular parlance, I was able to be the NESB plug. I was the one that was able to connect my fellow chapter members, my fellow regional members with jobs. So I built a lot of strong relationships with our corporate reps. So anybody who came on campus, I took their number, I got their information. I know if they were married, I know if they had kids, like I knew everything about them. And a lot of those relationships continue. So now if I know somebody that says, hey, I'm interested in aerospace industry, I can call up Darlene Fox from Boeing. You know, if somebody says, hey, I'm interested in consulting, I can call up Coriel Green and Horace Tiggs from Accenture, or, you know, whatever. So my network is just expanded. And so if you come through the finance zone, like understand, like you have the best opportunity to really gain a strong network and help other people. So leverage it for yourself, leverage it for others. In terms of where NSBE is going, diversity will run its course. It has before, and it will again. So the big question is, how can NSBE position itself to when it becomes unpopular to hire Black folks, Latinos, whatever case may be? One of the spaces we're moving into is advertising. And I don't know if you know this, but advertising dollars in the company and recruiting dollars are separate. So we're now starting to get those advertising dollars. You might have seen the Black STEM Like Me campaign. We had 2 events, one out in Stanford, one in Oakland. We'll have one in Purdue and one in I believe at Howard and DC later this month. And them must have been popping. So we're looking to do some different things, but you know, I'll give you guys a chance to ask any questions you may have. That includes you, regional leaders.
Okay, I'll ask a question then. Earlier, a member asked the regional finance zone what were, you know, some good and bad things about their positions that typically, you know, aren't displayed in public. So I asked the same thing to you. So what are some good and bad things, briefly, about, you know, the chairperson position that you don't know about?
Oh, the chair is that's a long conversation. I'll give you the short version of it. Everybody's problems becomes your problem, and everybody's successes and failures becomes your successes and failures. So it stops being about you as a person, what you did, what you were able to accomplish. And I could feel like I did everything in the world to have a positive effect on this organization, but if everybody else doesn't feel that way, then I take the heat for everything. And you got to be very comfortable to do that, comfortable in your own skin, willing to make your decisions and stand by them. Understand that there will be things that will happen that's out of your control, but they're still under your command. And that's a tall responsibility. So if you ever do decide that you want to hold that position, whether it's a chapter president or a regional chair or national chair, like don't jump into it just because of like the associated perks you see. Because yes, I love traveling, but it gets old. I mean, my wife was like, you know, mad at me because I'm gone all the time, right? Or, you know, I don't get a chance to eat a balanced diet like I would if I was at home doing food prep. Or, you know, I don't have those weekends where I could just grind it out and focus on academics. So it comes with its challenges, but it comes with a unique opportunity to really have a positive impact. In terms of the positive, the reach, I mean, the fact that I'm very energized when I'm able to get back in front of the membership to understand and like take what they're looking to do and implement in the organization. I'm also a teacher by nature, so being able to bring people's level of understanding up to a higher level. So I'm always trying to challenge people, not to tell them what to think, but to give them an opportunity to say, hey, did you think about this? And, you know, at the end of the day, I want people to walk away saying a couple of things. Number one, that Matt really cared about me personally, my development, but then I also grew in the process. I think that's the greatest thing about the chair position.
Oh, it's pretty insightful. So if y'all, you know, weren't considering finance zone positions, you might consider a national chairperson.
Well, I'll tell you this, coming through the national finance zone gives you a benefit of perspective, right? So other people have to try to figure out like how to translate what they want to do into NSBE finances. I have an intimate understanding. So I understand every line item. I understand every financial decision. I understand the impact of those decisions. I understand where we're lean, where we're fat, where we have opportunities. So if I want to do something, I understand, well, something else might need to be cut so I can arrange priorities. So coming up through the finance zone, all of the finance chairs that have come from Region 4, so let me take a step back. The last national chairs that came through Region 4, of them, Damian Journey, Stacey Ann, and myself were all finance zone. We were all played both finance chair and treasurer roles. Daryl didn't. I forget how Daryl came out. I think he might have been programs. But like having that finance zone understanding certainly gave us from Region 4 like a heads up as compared to the rest of the regions.
Wow, that's what's up. All right, Mother Region.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So I know we had some technical difficulties and we ran a little bit behind, but as we wrap up, I'll have each of you go ahead and say some last words and leave membership with anything impactful that you want them to take away from the panel tonight. Okay, Omari.
Well, I just want to say that I know the past couple years, the treasury position has been one of the hardest to fill, but I hope that this panel encouraged you to run. And if it didn't and you still need more convincing, please call me, text me, group me, email me, because it is very much worth it. It is a lot of hard work, but with the right team and the right preparation, it becomes a breeze and you'll enjoy it anyway.
Some last thoughts about my position. Definitely want to see some of you guys. I know personally, I worked with quite a few finance chairs from the chapter level who definitely have what it takes right now to be a regional finance chairperson. Don't be intimidated. The regional board, we're all a family, and all of us who are here now want to see you here. We want to help you guys. So definitely, I want to see some of you guys run for this.
My final words would be for those who are, a little hesitant about running for position, I would definitely encourage you to apply for appointed position. Are pretty unique. You can apply, and you're basically being groomed to learning the ins and finance zone and how to be the next treasurer, so you can be uniquely positioned to run the following year. Any questions, feel free to reach out via email, ASStreasurer@NSV.org. You can also, etc.
Okay, so final words about my position is best experiences I've ever had through NSV. So, I mean, if you want to feel the way that I do, even 2 months after conference, like, I strongly encourage you to apply for it. The deadline is tomorrow for FRC chair. And that may seem like a rush, but it's honestly one of the best things I've ever done in my life so far. And you can, if you have any questions specifically to FRC, you can contact me at r4frc@nesb.org, or you could hit me up in the group me or anything like that. Like, I am available to talk to you about the position. So, and I'll also be helping you along the way. Like, my position doesn't just stop here. Like, I'm helping you plan for 2017 Fall Regional Conference.
Okay, Matt, I'm going to give you the floor now. You can go ahead and speak on anything that you are hoping to leave the membership with as we close out the panel. Give me 1 second here.
All righty. So I'll leave you with this. At the end of the day, does NSBE need leaders? Yes, but what type of leader do we need? First off, when you're in the finance zone, it's a tremendous responsibility and opportunity. What we don't need people in the finance zone to just say no right off the bat. And unfortunately, sometimes people think that like finance zone is like has the responsibility of doing more than they're supposed to. So finance zone is really that anchor that tries to figure out how do we get this done financially. So you want to be in lockstep with your chair to figure out, all right, this is how much money we need to raise in order to make this happen. You know, if your chair decides, hey, Region 4 wants to go out on a limb. We want to bring in $150,000 this year because we want to spend $100,000 on our own regional chapter scholarships. Like, you got to step up and be like, all right, let's figure out how we can get this done, as opposed to being like, nah, we can't do it. So, you know, keep that in mind. Anybody who runs for this position needs to understand, like, be open-minded to change, to the new ideas that the organization is trying to bring. And then lastly, just like have a heart for people, because a lot of the challenges we have in NSBE are not process related, are not systems related, they're more people related, just the ability to communicate on the same level. So, you know, take some time to think about why you want to run, articulate your position, but really remember that while this is an organization about the membership, this is an organization full of people. And you know, giving the best of yourself to other people, helping other people become better, you'll become better in the process, and you'll enjoy this experience a lot more.
All right. Thank you all for joining and watching our 2017 Finance Zone panel. Thank you for sticking with us as we work through our you know, little issue in the middle here. Please join us again on February 19th for our membership zone panel, and we'll be speaking more about that later on. Check your social media accounts, your Facebooks, your emails for information and links regarding the next panel. Hope to see you guys soon. I've posted everyone's email address in the chat, so you can reference that. For those of you who would like to contact us and ask about the positions, okay? Remember, applications for FRC and RLC chair do close tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? Check out the R4 website for that, okay? Guys, have a great night. Thanks again for coming. Bye-bye.